So I tested positive day over 2 weeks ago. It was a bit of a shock to see it because I hadn't quite felt the symptoms yet. We were getting tested for an upcoming medical thing. And it took about a few days after that to really start feeling things, and the big notice for me was a loss of taste and smell. Otherwise, I had a headache. Generally, though, I would consider myself very lucky that for the most part it was mild and could be treated from any major discomfort with medication. So we talked about it a little bit before the symptoms really started kicking in. So like the day after diagnosis, you're like, oh yeah, we'll have plenty of time to go do this. And then a few days later, we started feeling bad. And it was probably right around one weekend when we all started kind of feeling better that we decided we want to go ahead and do this. So it was done probably in three main phases over 4 days. The first day was putting up all the tile and mortar for this main wall you see behind me. And then day 2 was a more relaxing day, since that was a very hard day, just getting the area below the window even further behind me. And that was the completion of phase 1. Phase 2 would have been installing the grout. That took a day. I think it's not too bad of a process, but the mess definitely seemed to stress Stacey out quite a bit. So we powered through it. It took a couple hours. Stage 3 was the shelves. They were a bit of a surprise in how difficult they were, as I realized I purchased porcelain tile, which somehow the only thing harder then seems to be diamonds. And it took a couple hours for me to drill through the porcelain tile to get through the holes drilled out. At which point putting up the shelves and decorating was pretty easy, I would say. I couldn't stop staring at it. It's such a marked change from what it used to look like. Every time I looked at it, I think Stacey and I just sat right where I am here, just staring at it for a couple hours, poured a couple drinks, clinked them together to celebrate. It's a very good feeling looking at it now versus what it was. I feel more accomplished as a person and more of an adult than a bachelor. It felt good to do something productive, because I know I wouldn't have done much else besides sit on the couch and probably play video games if I didn't have anything else going on. It's good to find a project and stuff to do during this time while you're feeling good. I would probably caution everyone that, like, if I had tried this during the first week, the results wouldn't have been anywhere near as good because none of us were feeling up to snuff. It's probably best to take care of yourself first, and then while you're waiting out the rest of the quarantine, to go ahead and do those projects you've been talking about forever. Especially with how easy it is to order things these days. You can prep early while you're not feeling great, and then as soon as you're feeling good, go knock out the things you've always been talking about.